This snare has the quintessential indie rock sound, and I'm excited to share it with you in a new sample pack. Now, let me tell you about the snare itself. This is a 70s Ludwig Acrolite that my grandpa got for me at a garage sale for 25 bucks when I was a kid. And I actually have two Acrolites because I always keep this one in exactly this setup. And when I say exactly this setup, I mean that I have tape all over the front, I have the dampener on, I've got brass wires on it, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I have tape on the snare wires as well. All things that I would rarely ever do with a snare. But for this very particular sound that I'm going for and that I'm talking about, these are actually very carefully set up to get a very particular sound. Now, when I say indie rock, I don't mean the modern like splatty kind of low thuddy snare sound, although this is tuned fairly low. I'm talking about more like a gritty, grainy, almost distorted snare sound that you would find in early 2000s indie. So like The Strokes, Arcade Fire, Franz Ferdinand, Peter Bourne and John, that kind of vibe. So I know the low thuddy snare is very popular these days, and I love it as well. But this is a sound that's a little more particular and a little harder to get, I think, with just any snare. So to record this drum, I'm using a Shure SM7B on the top, as well as a Slate ML2, which can emulate a variety of different microphones. I've got a Shure SM57 on the bottom. I've got AKG 414 B-ULS stereo overheads. They're kind of over my shoulder. And then I've also got an Oktava 012 as a center overhead. I, of course, have my Coles 4038s capturing the room. And then just for fun, I've got a microphone sitting on the floor that's capturing just a really gritty, grainy sort of sound. I very carefully tracked multiple hits at multiple different velocities to make sure you get exactly the sample you need, and I could have stopped there, but I didn't, because I want you to get that bang for your buck. Literally, this is going to be priced at $1, but I've also taken the samples and I have reamped them through my beloved Fender Princeton Reverb 65 reissue green amplifier with a greenback 12-inch speaker, and I have put the sound from the snare through the amp and then re-recorded it both dry and with the built-in spring reverb for the vibes. Now, could I have just taken these samples and run them through an amp sim? Yes, of course I could have. Should I have? Yes, of course I should have. But you know what? I went the extra mile, I went through the extra effort, and now you know that these samples are authentic. They're actually going through the amp, and I gotta say, they sound really cool. So I think that's everything you need to know. I am once again pricing this sample pack at $1, and it's not so that I can make money off of it. I think after the fees and everything, I make like 33 cents every time someone buys it. But it's more for the psychological aspect where I don't want to put a free thing out there, then a bunch of people download it and just sits on their hard drive. I want you to only download it if you really want this sample pack and think you could make good use of it. So that's kind of what the dollar barrier is there for, but it's only $1 because I want anyone to be able to afford it. So more importantly to me, if you do end up getting this and using it, please let me know. Let me know if you put this in any projects or what you're using it for, and I'd love to hear what you create. Let me know what you think in general. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.